welcome back to Jurassic Park Minute. Jurassic Park Minute is the fan podcast that chronicles and overanalyzes the classic 1993 film Jurassic Park minute by minute. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And today we're here to bring you minute number 22 of Jurassic Park. Brady, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good, man. Now, I heard that you very recently went to a museum and actually saw some dinosaur exhibits, didn't you?
I did, man. I went to the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they have a dinosaurs, like a full dinosaur exhibit that, is over 100 years old. And they've got just all kinds of stuff in there, including a couple of actual skeletons, not just replicas of skeletons. One of them is of a brachiosaurus that it's not terribly, it's certainly not as big as you see in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's probably only about 10 feet tall, only 10 feet tall. And it's an original, and I believe they had an original actual skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Wow.
Which was incredible. And then, above you is the pterodactyl. Its wingspan has got to be like 20 feet or something. A couple of Brontosaurus and just all kinds of other stuff. And the exhibit also touches on the possibility that dinosaurs had feathers and, dinosaurs that were living in, in the sea, everything like that. It's all kinds of interesting stuff. And they actually have a section of the exhibit where you see paleontologists live working on fossils and what have you. And there's, a big pane of glass, and you can look through it at the scientists in there actually doing their work. There was one guy with a giant woolly mammoth skull, and he was just kind of going over that, and it was pretty incredible. They also have a little section, it's like a big sandbox, and it's for little kids to go up and kind of brush away sand and find little dinosaur bones that had been hidden in the sand. It was really cute.
That's very cool. So it's very historically accurate as to dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So do you know of this theme park that's not historically accurate that has to do with dinosaurs?
No.
In Natural Bridge, West Virginia. It's the one owned by the gentleman. He's an eccentric. His name is Mark Klein, and he has on his property, well, it's closed now. It closed in 2012. A amusement park you could walk through, and it would depict scenes of the Civil War if the South had actually used a dinosaur army to conquer the North. So you walk through, and there's depictions of rebels riding dinosaurs' backs as they chomp down on Union troops. It's very interesting.
To have money and to be eccentric, as we'll call it.
I would love to be that way. But it's not open anymore. It's called Dinosaur Kingdom. It closed in 2012. My wife actually went there in 2011 and couldn't, she didn't really put two and two together that this is something that she really should have jumped into both feet. She just kind of looked at it and she's like, okay, there's a dinosaur eating a Civil War army guy. So it's very strange. But that's a pretty cool exhibit you got to go see.
Yeah. I think I would have rather gone to that though.
How could you not? It's amazing. So, well, hey, you ready to get into minute number 22?
Sounds good. In the previous minute, we saw Grant and Ellie stare in amazement at the Brachiosaurus as it towered over them, eating from the branch of a tree. At 22 minutes, Hammond explains that they've clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour. At 22 minutes and 8 seconds, Grant grabs Hammond and asks him to say it again. Hammond replies, "We have a T-Rex." At 22 minutes and 15 seconds, Grant falls over in disbelief. Ellie goes to assist him. At 22 minutes and 22 seconds, Hammond proclaims, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." At 22 minutes and 33 seconds, Grant looks out at the lake in the distance to see two more brachiosaurs coming out of the lake. At 22 minutes and 49 seconds, Grant makes the observation that they're moving in herds, realizing that his theories are true. And thus ends minute 22 of Jurassic Park.
So we're seeing Dr. Grant's theory of dinosaurs moving in herds, his kind of realization that he was right in his theory, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really cool moment. It's another case of where this movie kind of adds little touches that I think any other movie or any other filmmaker probably wouldn't have. He would have just had them look out, see the dinosaurs. Wow, big, amazing moment. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. But he's got this little moment where you see Grant with tears in his eyes saying, look, they're moving in herds. My theories are true. This is proof. I'm seeing proof of this thing that I've studied and tried to prove my entire career, that these things move in herds. So, it's a pretty amazing moment. Just this entire 2 or 3 minutes of seeing this Brachiosaurus, seeing our first dinosaur, seeing our first full CGI in broad daylight, is incredible. It's what a moment.
Yeah, and you kind of see Grant's shell pierced a little bit. He's a hard ass before this. He's kind of a grumpy guy, and then we see him kind of taken down a little bit actually literally, he falls down to his knees. Ellie tells him to put his head between his knees and keep breathing. But we're starting to see his theories proven, and it kind of it's a catalyst really for maybe his becoming a better person over the course of the screenplay.
But this is kind of where that starts.
Film. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I got a couple of cool notes here.
Yeah, let me hear him.
So they say they've clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour. In real life, it is generally agreed upon by paleontologists that T-Rex moved at 45 miles an hour.
Wow, that's fast.
So that's faster than you can run.
That was it's
Yeah.
10 times over,
He'd
yeah.
be on top of you. But he never got airborne because, it's such a heavy animal that, it was always 1 foot on the ground.
Right, bipedal, you'd probably have to
Yeah.
1 foot on the ground.
Exactly. So just next time you're driving down, the road, drive your car at 45 miles an hour and just try and understand that that's how fast that massive beast was moving. So another cool little thing that I noticed is anybody who's familiar with the behind the scenes stuff on the special edition DVD is that there's a couple of different takes and you hear lines read a couple of different ways. Well, in this moment, we see Hammond, just epically and dramatically say, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." There was another take where he's just kind of like chuckling through the line. And it's not that effective, but I always find that interesting to see certain lines you're so familiar with read in a different way. And
yeah,
it's somewhere out there. I can't remember what documentary it's on.
But Spielberg had a lot of takes to choose from, and he chose the one with Hammond. It's really kind of a weird shot because he's walking off, just staring at things by himself, saying "Welcome to Jurassic Park." No one's listening to him. He's just saying it to himself as he's looking off at the dinosaurs. So it's a little strange.
It's a very movie moment.
But it's also very iconic. It's one of the lines from this movie that I think kind of sticks with people. So.
Yeah. There's another shot actually that comes right after Grant looks out and sees, in the distance, the other animals. And it's a wide shot from behind them. The three of them are standing there in the grass. In the distance is the lake with the animals. And it is a composite shot of so many different layers. And the three people are not there in the field. And again, this is all on behind the scenes documentaries that I believe are on the Blu-ray. But they actually shot Grant and Ellie and John in front of a green screen. And if you look at the bottom of them, their feet, and when Grant's sitting down, his legs, you can see that it's kind of transparent. So after I saw that, of course, it's the first thing I look at when I watch the scene. But the lake isn't actually back there, and of course the dinosaurs are not back there. Yeah. But a couple of shots later, it might actually be the next shot, is a little bit, it's kind of a close-up of the lake with the animals moving. They do something really cool. They've added in a heat wave over it to kind of add to that realism, and then a slight shift in the camera movement. Yeah. It's thoughts like that make me believe CGI. And nowadays, you don't get it. You just don't see someone adding imperfections like that.
Right.
And of course, there's not all the color grading and what have you done to it like there is these days. So that's one of the most believable CGI moments in this movie, and maybe in any movie that I've seen. And it's because of those little imperfections, the slight camera adjustment, the heat wave that no one else would have in their pristine, perfect movie. So really cool little touches like that really make it come true for me.
Yeah. So Grant has this theory here at the very end about dinosaurs moving in herds. So that was actually not discovered until 1997, believe it or not. So this movie predates that discovery a little bit. Yeah. In Oxford, England, some sauropod tracks were documented to show that groups of dinosaurs, at least in sauropods, did move in groups. So the whole herd behavior of the animals. Now, paleontologists just have to make a lot of guesses on these things because, dinosaurs aren't here. We can't really document them and see how they move, but you can tell a few things like their footprints. So if there's large groups of them that move together and the footprints were made in just the right indentation so that they would have been walking along at the same time, you can tell, okay, well, this is probably a larger group that moved together. So I think it's kind of funny that Jurassic Park came out in 1993 and that discovery was made in England in 1997. So we know at least sauropods, it seems, that they did move in large groups.
That's right. And, that's interesting. That kind of goes back to what I was saying about the way T-Rex moved and how they can kind of gauge his, weight and everything like that is the foot imprints and their spacing, how far they are apart. If that's how they were able to judge, paleontologists were able to judge, or one of the ways anyway, as to whether or not he could get airborne or have 2 feet off the ground at the same time. Right. So it's really cool that they can just look at footprints and gauge all of this kind of stuff millions and millions and millions and millions of years later.
Right. Right. Well, you got anything else for this minute?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool minute. We have a very, very iconic line, the iconic shot of Dr. Grant kind of looking across the lake and seeing the dinosaurs together moving in a herd and kind of saying, oh, they do move in herds. So I think there's a little bit of character work in this minute. There's the majesty, of course, seeing all the dinosaurs moving together, and that's pretty cool. But I think that... it's all kind of won over by John Hammond's line of "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, great. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with minute number 23, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, hold on to your butts.
Jurassic Park Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the podcast, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can contact us at JurassicParkMinute@gmail.com and visit us online at JurassicParkMinute.com, Facebook.com/Jurassic Park Minute, and Twitter.com/Jurassic Minute.